Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, part 2 of our microwave stand build. Well, there's a lot more ground to cover, so I'm not going to talk very much at the beginning of today's show, and we're going to get right into the work. Well, the dados are all done for those side panels, but we need a panel at the back. Now, it will not be a full panel from top to bottom. What it's going to be is from the top of the drawer to the shelf here that's on the bottom. That'll hold our little baskets that you may or may not have seen in my original print or blueprint or plan. So what I need to do, this would be the front face because we can see our drawer face holes right here, but we need to do the exact same procedure that we did on this section, but we need to do it right here on the back of our carcass on both sides all the way around, so on the cross support pieces, the whole 9 yards, to pull the whole thing together to house that back panel. Be careful of alignment, he says. Pay attention to your pieces, he says. Make sure everything's all aligned and set up, and keep clamping it together so that you know what goes where and everything comes together. And then the bonehead goes and routes on the wrong side of the leg. Well, I'm not too concerned about it, although it is a mistake. Mistakes happen in the shop. It should be on this edge of my leg, and I've accidentally put it on here. This is the problem when you start spinning a piece around side to side, trying to keep everything aligned in your mind, and then this sort of thing happens. Luckily, this will be in the very, very back corner of the inside of our little cubby hole at the bottom, and I honestly don't think it's going to make a difference at this point in time. So I'm just going to carry on with it, and I'm going to reroute it the proper way and chalk that up as an oops and let it disappear inside my project. Stuff happens, guys. Don't worry about it. Pick up the pieces and move on. Well, the carcass is dry fit back together. We have all of the dados routed back in this area here, including a little extra one in case we ever decide to move it forward half an inch. But all those dados are routed for the back panel, and our side panels dry fit together here only, guys. And now we're going to cut the pieces for our panel. And for that, we're going to be using 1/4 inch MDF. So what you want to do is you want to take measurements of the inside of each one of these openings. In this case, this is 15 by 13 for the top. And we're going to add 7/16. 7/16 of an inch to both dimensions. The reason for that, we have a 1/4 inch deep dado on one side, 1/4 inch on the other. That is half an inch. And bring it back 1/16 of an inch just to give it a little room for wiggle and that sort of thing. So there we go. Take the measurements for your panel, cut them carefully on the saw, and then we can dry fit them into place as well. Well, with those panels cut now, it is another dry fit. And what a pain in the butt, you may be thinking. I agree, but that is the nature of building this kind of projects. You really want to do all of these dry fits at every single step to make sure that everything is going well. And I'm glad that I did the dry fit here because I found a problem, and that would be this. I needed to notch every single panel 1/8 of an inch wide by 1 inch long along its horizontal surfaces because I cut the dowels too close. If you remember when I routed them, I said, okay, well, I cut into those dowel openings, no big deal. We'll work around that. And through the dry fit, I discovered this is what I had to do. So that's something to keep in mind. So do your total dry fit, get it all together, and then we need to make a few more pieces on the side panels. Now, one will support a towel rack that I'm going to be installing after it's painted and that sort of thing. And the other will be for drawer glides, and that is what we're going to work on next. Well, for the drawer glide supports, all I have done is cut a piece of 3/4 inch ply. It's just over 2 inches wide and it is the same dimension, 15.5 inches long, that we cut for our side pieces here. And there will be one piece for each side and it will get mounted in the center of our drawer opening. Well, instead of using dowels and that sort of thing and glue to hold those rails in, I've decided that I'm going to use pocket holes. And the reason that I've decided with that particular type of fastener is because I want some metal in here. This is going to be a drawer, and although it's a light duty drawer, I just don't want the dowels and only the dowels. I want something to help pull everything in together, and pocket holes are perfect for this application. You're never going to see them because there will be drawer glides mounted right over top of those pocket holes. So why not? This is a perfect situation to use that type of joinery or fastening, and I guess that's what I'm going to do. So now the next piece that I need to make, and again it will be held in with pocket holes because it's really nothing special at this point, is on the left hand side of the microwave stand I would like to mount a towel rack. Now, as you know, the side panels are nothing more than 1/4 inch MDF, so there's really no meat there to fasten one of these. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of scrap, maybe 3 inches wide, that's 15.5 inches long, and when the assembly of the side panels gets done, that will get installed with pocket holes there as well, tight to that 1/4 inch panel so that we have some support to screw into that, or screw that towel rack into. With all the dry fits done and those pocket holes drilled and everything's ready to go, you have checked this over and over for dry fit. It is now time to assemble it, and I would suggest strongly that you get somebody to help you. This is an awkward build, this is an awkward assembly, and it takes a little more than 2 hands. You can still do it if you're working alone, it's no big deal. I've done all the dry fits by myself, but once you add glue into the mix, now you're under the gun. You are under pressure to get this thing put together properly, and it takes time. So the glue, that's the next thing we're going to touch on. I was going to use regular wood glue, but because this is such, it's such a finicky build with all of these dowels and that sort of thing, what we're going to need is some extra working time. So for that, I'm going to use Titebond 3. It takes longer to set, but it also gives you more time to work with it, to fuss around with those joints. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use Titebond 3, and you want to make sure that you clean up all your squeeze out. Although we're not going to stain this, so the glue won't affect stain, we will be painting it, and you don't want a big glob of glue sticking out where it should be a nice smooth surface. So make sure you clean up your squeeze out, guys, as you go. So we don't need a full video of me assembling this. You have seen the dry fits go together. You've seen the way the carcass fits. So I will see you at the end of the assembly of the carcass, and then we can move on to the next step. Well, the carcass is glued up and we're waiting for it to dry. All the clamps are in place. What a pain in the neck to put this together. I'm glad that I had the help. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to place these the plywood strips that we made and use pocket holes. These will be to support or screw our drawer glides in. So through your entire glue up, you really need to keep checking this thing to make sure that the whole carcass is square all the way around. All corners are square, all of our openings are square. If you check it all the way along and make sure for the squareness, you will have less problems down the road. So the important part for these pieces of plywood for our drawer glides, it's imperative that they're at the same height from the bottom. It's also imperative that they're parallel. So we're just going to take some measurements and make some adjustments and tap it in place. And once we're happy with where it is, we're going to screw it in using our pocket hole screws. One other thing that you want to be absolutely certain of is that the face of the plywood is flush with the face of your 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch leg. And now that we have the one side screwed in, we'll make some adjustments, double check measurements, screw in the other side, and then repeat the process on the opposite side of our microwave stand. But we now need to put in our piece. That will be our towel rack support. And all that is a piece, a scrap piece of poplar. There we go. A scrap piece of poplar. I don't even know the dimensions here. I know it's 15½ inches long, and I ended up making it 3 5/8 wide. So again, with the pocket holes, we're going to make sure that it's tight to our panel here, because we're going to be screwing into it from the outside in order to get our paper towel rack in there. So we're just going to hammer it in place, put the pocket hole screws in place, and that'll be perfect to hold it right where we want it. We now want to cut the shelves that will be at the bottom section and as well just above the drawer of our microwave stand. For that, we're going to use some 1/2 inch thick plywood. We're using maple, and the reason for that again is for its ability to take paint and give it a nice smooth finish. So we're going to take some careful measurements on the inside of our cabinet. As well, we need to take into consideration in the corners where our legs jut out from our actual frame. We're going to need to take that into consideration to cut notches in our shelves. So let's get those shelves cut, get the notches cut out of the corners, and then we will fit them into place. And from there, well, I'll show you how we're going to secure them. I've got my 1/2 inch piece of plywood cut, and we're just going to tap it into place, and it was designed in order to sit completely flush on this strip. So it's a bit of a tight fit. I think I'm going to have to finagle this in here because it's not really cooperating, but we're going to get it in place, and once we get it in there, we're going to go underneath. I'm going to glue strips all the way around to support it, and we're going to shoot some pin nails in here with our air nailer just to support the shelf a little extra all the way around. Just like that. And now that that shelf is in there, we can secure it in, as I said, and we will be done with this. I've decided that I'm going to use MDF on this middle shelf because I think I'd like a little beefier shelf up here. Down here is just some light baskets. Who knows what we're going to put in this center section. So MDF 3/4 inch thick for this top shelf, and we're going to install it the exact same way as we did here. Well, if you've been following along at home, you should have something that looks just like this. Sexy, huh? Not really. this is going to all come together once the paint gets applied. Right now it's a very rough piece of furniture. We're not going to move on just yet with the drawer or the top or anything like that, because there's one more thing I want to do for the legs. And what I want to do is I want to mark the center on the bottom of each leg. We're going to drill an appropriate sized hole to put a threaded insert in. I can't tell you what size hole because I don't know what threaded insert you're going to use. And we're going to put a set of leveling feet on it. And that will help it for when we get it in the location, you know, to level it up and get it all nice and straight so that whatever we put on it is going to be square and flush and all that kind of jazz like that there. So finish up with your leveling feet, and then we're going to give it a sanding all over with a 1/4 sheet sander, and then we can put the carcass aside for a little bit because we got some other stuff we got to work on. Well, once again, we have run out of time on the show, but that's okay because we can continue it next week. Guys, we've made a lot of great progress on this project, and I'm really pleased so far with the way things are going along and the way it's all kind of pulling together. I want to thank you very much for tuning in this week, guys. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button as well as the bell to get notifications of future shows. I hope you've enjoyed today's show, and I also hope that you're going to join me next week when I bring you yet another woodworking video.